Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. I'm not, that's not right. How come I can't hear myself? There we go. Is it loud enough? That just doesn't seem... Alright. Well, I hope you guys can hear me okay today. Application error, oh no. I guess that usually just fixes itself, so... Is that the problem? That's the problem. No. Well, I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, I don't sound as loud as I normally do. So seems like I've got that set. Seems like I have everything set correctly. I don't know why it doesn't sound louder. Anyways, today's ADP. Pretty minimal volatility here before the news. We get it in 10 minutes. Let's pull up the links first though. Okay, well, I sound loud enough when I'm playing it back. I don't know why it doesn't sound louder to me in the headphones, but... Something's broken! I feel like something's broken. But maybe it's all in my head. I don't know. I mean, I hear that just fine. Then it looks like this is broken, so I'm just going to do that. So we won't necessarily have the chat, but you can use the YouTube chat if you want something to show up in the video. And we don't need that. Okay. So, anyways. Okay, ADP. So we're looking at month-over-month hourly earnings 0.3. That's really important. Then the employment change 195 and the unemployment rate 3.8. And we're going to open up our squawk so that we get it fast. Okay, no.
By rebounding full
note the big order here.
They know they should keep.
It's a big number there, a big number there. I'm a little concerned. I feel like that this market really wants to go lower. And I'm worried that this market, meaning the E-mini, so I'm worried that we're going to get like a push down.
Positive wage growth 3 spot pull back past
North Korea denounces U.S. over human rights criticism. Well, there went the whole not attacking the United States thing. Disturbing anti-abortion film. Okay. Okay, so now we're seeing some orders going in.
%1,000% labor force participate. Or we'll then move on to 1,000 employment rate. Part-time depends. Absolutely. Private payrolls, manufacturing payrolls, trade numbers for May.
Okay, so remember the numbers that we're paying attention to: 0.3 on the earnings change and 195 on employment. Okay, there's an outsized order right there at the 24. That's staying, or sorry, at 14. Where did I get 24 from? Okay, but there are a couple of people going in ahead.
1 minute.
I think that this initial release is going to be really wild, so I'm going to probably keep my mouse off for the first bit. 0.3, 195. Okay.
Payrolls 215,000. Employment rate
That's good.
4%. Hourly earnings month on month spot 2% year on year. 7% patient rate.
Okay, so it was 0.2 versus 0.3.
Hey,
So that's a buy. We could get 140. I would take it. Okay.
Full-time, part-time, 22.7. Change in private payrolls 202,000 again. Revised prior of 209,000. Manufacturing 36,000 against a revised prior of 19,000. Average weekly hours.
Student absorption right there at 14.
US trade balance.
So that price is turning out to be a key price, but they did push through it. Okay, a little bit more absorption. Come on. I guess not.
One spot.
Okay. Oh man, come on. Not our day today, I guess. And icebergs at 13.5 and 13 not holding. I see people buying, but they're pushing through it. I do believe this should go up though. That 200 might not be safe either, because only, what, 1357 went through it? But they tick back and forth there a ton of times. Look at it on the one range chart. This is kind of weird. So I think that they might want to get back up there. Unemployment rates up to does not match others. Okay, market's not reacting to that.
Points, not payrolls coming higher than expected. Had a hourly and both month. Unemployment rate coming
So I'm still seeing, granted they're pushing a lot of volume at each step, but I'm still seeing the bid absorbing a lot. Oh, I see. It's weird.
Great news.
Good. I'm just laughing at that because it's like they couldn't say anything more like expected. Of course, China thinks that, or is going to say at least, that US tariffs are going to fail. And they think that people are going to react to news like that. It's just kind of okay. I'm gonna find it a little weird that it's not going here. The overall delta was 10,000. We had 10,000 contracts up, and then retraced. Okay, so there's still iceberging at 14. Yeah, Liz got out. Not Liz. Why do I say Liz? Alligator. I must not be on this morning, guys. Well, I thought that my initial trade was an okay one. And I think that my stop location is still in a place that they shouldn't hit if we're going to go back up again. But this is just not going. From a scalping perspective, that was the wrong spot. And I'm not quite sure. You know, 13.5 isn't pulling enough. And that the 5 year is not able to hold the bid at 21 quarter. Even though they're still buying there. Okay, there was finally a bit of a pull. What really pulled that time? 9, 8. Okay. Well, that was a much stronger bid on that tick up. $21.5 being trouble. Okay, pulled. Yeah, that should tick up. Not a strong bid in the 5 year. Algos are just taking it back and forth. Yeah. I still feel like long. I don't know. Okay. So that tick up caused a little bit more reaction. There's an iceberg at 22. 5 year.
Fed data. Down.
That sounds correct to me. I think that this market needs to price in a slightly less chance of there being a September rate hike. If hourly earnings aren't going up. And this market has just been looking for an excuse to go higher. So I think that they should be moving up, these treasuries. I think we should see the E-mini start to fade. Some bounce, in my opinion. Now they're above it. Yeah, like I think I want more than 18. Where was this pivot? 175? So for starters, my order is in the wrong spot. Very good job, IQ. He's got a winner. So I removed that order because the last pivot was 17.5. So that would be a potential exit, not 18. If it goes through 18, it's probably going to go to the high. So I'm pulling it. We got to be really vigilant and pay attention here. And there was a pivot at what? 155. So if they push through this at right now in ZF, that's when I think you could start to see some people puking. How is the dollar yen responding? Not really responding yet. The euro is coming down a little bit. Or was that news? They pushed up. They pushed up on the news, and now the euro is coming down. Okay. My impulse strategy hasn't. Oh, it just gave along. The impulse strategy just gave along. Okay. So now they're trying to squeeze them, and this 155 is making itself look a lot stronger than it should be, I think. That might be because the ZB ticked it down. Hmm. That 3-2-2-1. So buyers were holding it there, and somebody pushed through them, and that created a little bit of a little bit of a reaction. Well, I was right about one thing here. It's this profile here was right at the price that I thought was going to be significant. At 114, where I kept trying to get long. So of course, it would have been better to have gotten 13. But I thought that it was going to be more like this. I thought it was going to be more like this. I thought that this was going to be the price that held. So I think I was right that 140 was a key price, but I was wrong about what key price it was. Nah, no. Yeah. This actually feels like fairly typical action to me, to be honest. Okay, so they are trading 16, so that's good. They haven't broken out in the 5 year yet. So they still need another tick or two higher before we maybe possibly see some puking. See, for the past few, maybe 5-10 minutes that the bids have been pulling. You can see it right here and right there. So that's a change. The 5-year though is just kind of a random all over the place. They've been buying it in the 30 as well. Oh, you know, I wonder where's our spread at? It looks to me like the spread could go much, much further, the knob spread in particular. Okay, so that was a really strong uptick. That 15 half holds, I mean 59 hit into it and it stayed strong. ES is fading down. Is ZB probable to break the high of its bar? Oh. It's like, so I was thinking about this morning, actually. So it's kind of interesting that it's doing this, but I think when you're trading news, one of the things that you have to keep in mind is what is the next piece of news? Because what could happen is you could say, okay, earnings was 0.2 versus 0.3, which means that we're not getting wage inflation, which decreases the chance of us getting a September rate hike. That's what they're saying right now, right? Well, at what point is the chance of a September rate hike fair or balanced, let's say? Fair is probably not a good word because that's all in anybody's opinion, but it's balanced based on what the market knows now, okay? Well, maybe it's at 20. And that's why somebody put it there, was because they did the math and they know that 20 is it. And then from there, now that it's at 20, then they take a pause and we say, oh, okay, well, what's the next thing that's coming up? What's like some news or other things that are happening, you know, that we have to see. What's the next trade? Well, the next trade, we have PPI and CPI next week, and we have the bond auctions, right? So those could totally end up being really good and negate this poor hourly earnings that we've seen. And so that could make it so that because of those future things on the docket that we don't break a new high. On the other hand, We have picked up a little bit of imbalance here, especially in the 5-year. There was this 45.41 that traded at 21.7 that is trapped. And although we haven't traded beyond the 22.7, which we need to do in order for those people to really panic, but if we get above there, those people could panic, and then we see how much imbalance we get going up. If this turns into a stream train and it gets momentum, then they could totally bust the high. So that's kind of what I'm watching right now. And I see at the moment, and especially in the 10-year, it just feels to me like somebody is trying to hold it down. This right here was somebody trying to hold it down that got blown out. And I'm seeing it, there's some pretty strong offers here. They had to trade through 2000 here, and they traded through 2000 at 15.5. I expect that if we trade back up, that there might be 1,000 to trade back up. So it just feels to me like somebody's holding it down. And if they get through them, which I think they could do, then, there's enough fuel to do it. But whether or not it's actually going to do it, I can't put a probability on it. I really don't know. We might stop at this 17.5, and I might just take it there. I'm just going to have to read the order flow. Yeah, now the E-mini is kind of at a key point, but they did not trade a bubble. I don't know if you guys can see it over here. This white, see here in the E-mini? This white right here? And they didn't print bubbles. Normally when it stops, I mean not all the time, but a lot of the time, you're gonna see bubbles. You're gonna see bubbles. So I think the E-mini is gonna keep pushing down, and I think you could see another tick up. Okay, so we've ticked back up here, and we got a strong bid at 15.5. This isn't pulling out of the way. In fact, it's trying to puff itself up again. Okay, it pulled. Well, they hit it. They hit it. They hit it. 18 traded. Okay, 35 traded. Wow. So that's a potential exit right there for us. Is that iceberg? You could maybe get out. I'd say now we passed the 22.7, and now the 5-year is absorbing, so I think I'm gonna hold it. I didn't see an iceberg in ZB. Was there maybe one in the UB or the... No, I didn't see anything unusual. I guess I don't have those columns there, so I can't say. Yep. Mass absorption, yes. Well, my impulse still seems to think that that move down is just kind of neutral. So not actually enough to move the needle. Really interesting.
shorted.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if profit is listening here, but you know, one of the things that you'll see is like for this instance, this one at 145.31, and they're just bidding and offering 100, 200. That's just a balanced price right there. They're going to go back and forth across that a couple of times. Same here in the 5-year. So, and they traded up, but they only bid 22. No big deal. The one that's a big deal is if you see an iceberg. If there's an iceberg here, like at 15.5, or there was one at 16, right? So if there's an iceberg at 16, they traded through it, and they put a strong bid, this starts pulling at 16.5, that's when it matters, right? Otherwise, that iceberg holds and you get a scalp for maybe a couple lower. Although in this case, I think if you had gone short at 16, which you could have, or I could have exited at 16, I think there's just not a whole lot of interest in selling 15 at the moment. Okay, so that time the 5-year ticked up and they put a strong bid and they traded into 22.7, but then they hit back. Yeah, that was an interesting tick up. Okay. What happened here? What caused that stop run? Sorry, not what caused that stop run. Was that stop run just the guy in ZF getting killed? And then, if it was, that could actually be a good thing. So I don't like that. Well, we had a good buy here in the 10-year. That's I'm assuming it was this 3,000 that printed at 15.5, and they were able to get above it. But then a seller came in and pushed us back down. So now I think it's the buyer's turn again. They need to get back to this 155. Now they could totally do it, and I think that they're going to get a chance here, but I'm going to be watching real carefully, because if sellers continue to hold us down, or we just don't see the buying, then we might have to take a profit here at like 15. So that screenshot I just posted in chat, I've never seen anything like that. That is really bizarre. And they didn't go down. Like, you would think that pulling like that they would push lower and just careen down through it. It seems to me that we're going to need the cash open to resolve this. For sure. Okay, so that pulled at 14.
Wagons. 3.
Dang it. I already missed my chance to get out there.
$504,000 vehicles.
Hmm. Hmm. So the action that we're starting to see here is like some of my least favorite action because it's like pulling everywhere. They pulled on these ticks down and now they're pulling on these ticks up. I was looking to see if maybe I was gonna get out at break even. But now I'm thinking unless we get a strong uptick here. This is holding. That's good. Not comfortable. Okay. I like this iceberg in ZF, so I'm gonna hold it a little bit longer. Oh, they hit and they still bid up and an iceberg. That's good. And then over 1,000, so that's good. And this is holding in ZF, so that's why we didn't give up. Well, now I'm sitting here and I'm not getting filled. That's not good. And this bit of ZF is stronger than it should be. A pull. Okay. Well, it was an okay trade, but I think we should have gotten out at 15.5, huh? When we had +3. Yeah. So here's the E-mini, so I'm just gonna let the E-mini do its thing. So the first thing they did was sell. Well, that'll learn me. Yeah, it's okay. That offer at 14 seems a little suspicious to me. Why would there be 4,000 at 14? Yeah. Look at that. They pulled it. And that should have resulted in some buying, but it didn't. And they sold it down a tick. Another tick. $15 was the he's stopped, and 110 was the news price. Oh, good to know. So there was some absorption at 12. There's actually some absorption at a lot of these prices, to be honest. Yeah, I was kind of curious. That was interesting because you got a push up, right? And they mostly held it. But then we got another push up and it did not result in higher price. And then all of those buyers gave up. And the thing was is that there was definitely more buying there. And it wasn't like the sellers, I mean it was 3,000, right? It was 3,000 at 155. 3,400. So it's not like the sellers were like some overwhelming huge force that scare everybody out. It was just like there wasn't enough buyers left. That's how I read that one. The buyers ran out of steam. There's a pretty strong move up there in the E-mini. So this is like that bottom again. Like this is the lowest that we've been since the news. And I'm a little tempted to buy it here, but the way that it's looking, it's not doesn't look safe to me. They could go for this ledge here. Interestingly enough, that 110 that was the pre-news price is still the biggest spot. Hmm. I don't know what the deal is with my Bitcoin chart. It seems awfully screwed up, doesn't it? Hmm. Okay, so a bit of an iceberg here at 120. So we got this right here, and then on this side we got this. See that? I do want to buy it here. Level 2 flipping a lot here. Should have been watching here when it came down, that the offers stayed. You could have gotten out break even. And I'm not filled. Well, I could buy 13. Might be wise. I think there's another move in here, but I don't actually know if it's going to be up, if we're actually going to finally get the move up, or if it's going to be down. Well, we are getting the move up developing. At the moment, with the way that it's behaving, I'm not so sure that I can just hit into 13. Like on a relative basis, based on where this profile is right here, you could, but are they like trading it aggressively or anything now? Only been 600 contracts since that tick up, and the E-mini is not really. It hasn't really moved. Okay, so there was some selling there, and there's an iceberg. And they break through the iceberg, and they're not willing to hit 13.5. So now I definitely don't want to buy 13. Pretty strong bid they put up there. Still haven't hit 13.5. Come on. Hmm. So then 12.5 pulled. Alright, so once again it ticks up. Okay, that time they were able to get some to go into 13.5 a little faster. Nope. Oh, quite a bit is traded here now at 13. And that was a stronger bid. We should be seeing buys into 13.5. Why are we not seeing buys into 13.5? I still think they can get filled at 13. I guess they're right. I only took 595 too. You mean you did find support at a key level there and pivoted? Only 596. Really? Well, that was my original buy. Still wouldn't have filled. Hmm. There's a big bid there in the E-mini at 27.41. Pay attention to. Yeah, this one I shouldn't have taken. I think it could buy now. Like I should have just kept my original order in at 12. Would have gotten filled in the perfect spot and been plus one right now. Well, that was a pretty aggressive bid up. What's going on here? Is the E-mini topping out? I find it curious that the E-mini is on this move, but people are buying up the treasuries. They're still not hitting 13.5 though. They're absorbing at 13 though. Nim, nim, nim. They sold it, but they didn't offer a whole lot. The E-mini still looks, it doesn't look finished. Okay, maybe a slight pivot here in the E-mini. I'm not seeing a bubble, I'm not seeing a huge level 2 change, so it's not, doesn't seem like a for sure thing, but it did pivot down for at least 4 ticks, so. It's a small pullback there. Okay, so that was much better. But 43 immediately hit into 13.5. No, very, very good. So we're not yet seeing bids pull out of the way, but there is no longer a big bid at was it 14 or was it 14.5? Okay, so at least 1,000 pulled off of 14. Ah. Okay, so they sold that 14.5 and they absorbed a bit, but they put a strong offer that might be a spot to get out. Although I do think that they're going to push up here further. And I do think that the E-mini, so notice this one at 24.4150, 27.4150 in the E-mini, that strong bid's not there anymore. I'm a little concerned now because I'm seeing this right here. Just clear it like that. Just do it like that. Those concern me. I'm not seeing it in the 30-year though. It was right here. Yes, and it was at 14. There was a pivot. Here in the E-mini. Equal, but this pulled. Oh, you can't see that. You see that? Very, very weak bid, but they're not selling it. Okay, they did actually go through. Okay. That bid at 13.5 is being a little fishy. Yeah. Oh, we still got 20 minutes. I'm just looking at this right here. Like this first one was a bad trade. 30 seconds after the move was really when you look back at the action was kind of like catching a falling knife. So I shouldn't have taken that one. I should have let it go. And then when it touched the 120 and it came back up, then I should have tried to get 13. So if I had gotten 13, then I could have gotten 5 ticks off of it, and then you would have seen the absorption off of this and you get out. That's, I think, was the right way to play that trade that we made. But, you know, what are you going to do? 14 seemed like the price, so we took it, and it wasn't like it was a bad price. It's just that the move from it never really developed. So, and now this one right here, I don't know what it's going to do, but this 13.5 is just being awfully fishy. Like, that's why I took it off. I just didn't want to mess with it because it was going back and forth there too many times. And I said, okay, well, I bought it at the balance area, and yeah. That one, I wonder if that's like a, push it up so I can get filled here at 27.47 for them to be absorbing 2 ticks below the high of the day. And there is not a strong offer. Well, it's 700. This seems fishy to me in the E-mini. The buying in the E-mini hasn't necessarily been strong. Well, if I hadn't taken it off at 13.5, I think that was the right thing at the time, but if you hadn't taken it off, you maybe get 14 now. I'm wondering if the E-mini breaks up there, I think they could do it. But it does look like somebody's trying to get short up here. So I'm wondering if the E-mini breaks higher and the treasuries come down a few ticks, and we could get long again, maybe. I don't think I want to mess with 13 to 14. But if I could get 12 half, then maybe it would be worth buying again. Looks like I wouldn't have actually gotten filled at the 14 yet. And it's going back and forth there at the 13 half a lot. And it's pretty thick on both sides. Hey, well, there you go. I just said 13 half is getting annoying, and what did they do? They bid it up. I'm convinced now. Somebody really big fish out there is listening to what I say and is just trying to mess with us now. I didn't want to buy 14 and now they're 14.5. Boo. Man, that sucks. There's that strong bid again in the E-mini. What's he gonna do? He got filled. And now a slightly bigger one is showing up at 27.44. Well, that sucks because I actually could have had 4. I mean, that was about what I was looking for. It was really slow. I don't know. Not my best trading. I think that one was maybe me getting a little overly cautious. You know, I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, this is range bound. I need to not chase. I need to be careful. And then as soon as I said that was when they actually took it up and did exactly what I thought they were going to do. But there's still the 16 to contend with. So yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if they give us a pullback. I mean, if they give us a pullback back to like 13, you know, we could totally buy that again. 128. Okay, well, there's a slight opportunity at 14.5. Okay, they're pushing down. Well, I definitely could have done that better. Because I both of my trades after this one, like we said, was just a, bad timing and trying to catch a falling knife. These two both had more than one tick. I only took one tick loss, one tick win. This one was actually 5 ticks at one point. From 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It actually ticked 16.5. I don't think I would have ever gotten filled there, but could have taken that off there. That would have been 4. And then this one at 130 could have been 2. It says MFE of 3. I don't know how did it get to 14.5 while I held it, but it could have been 3 or 4. Maybe we could have had a winning day today. I'm wondering though if can I not? Here we go. So if I just get the whole week in here. Oh, it was actually, but we have the E-mini one in there. When you take out the E-mini, it's probably not a winning week, huh? How can we show that? The filters, is it filter editor? Instrument name begins with the 10-year. Okay, so it was actually down 4 ticks overall. So before today, so before this, we were pretty close to even. Okay. I don't know if I want to start counting those E-mini trades or not. Like, I feel like that trade is getting close to, well, I would never be able to trade it with a live account though. I mean, that's just too much risk for me to take. But when it gets big enough, then I would take it. And I think that by then this E-mini trade would have developed. I think it can make some money with it. So that's cool. I think I have a couple, so these ones, here's another one that was, oh, so these were all today, right? Yeah, the down at the bottom is today. So did I have any other ones that had like a really big MFE? No, not really, actually. So, and this one was a stop full stop. So even though I don't think this was super great trading, at least it was fairly efficient up until now. I was cautious. I was watching where I was getting in really carefully. So I think that is progress. I mean, the other weeks, obviously we were experimenting so much in June, and now in July I'm kind of going back to try hard. And given the type of action, well, I take that back because we had some really good moves this week. So I really think it should have been higher. I really think I should have made more. Yeah. But I mean, compared to what we were trading back in May, I think it's okay. So it's better at least. I'm curious why these 15 half and 15 aren't really stacking up very much. I think we actually may still go up higher. This E-mini does not look to me sorry, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that it doesn't look to me. There is a chance that the E-mini doesn't push higher. It's having a hard time. It didn't just like bust up through there or anything. So if the E-mini comes down, then I definitely think that we could see treasuries higher, at least to this value high, to this, well, not value high, but to the other end of this range, to like 16. It's like 835. So I'm gonna sit around and chat for a few seconds, but I don't think I'm gonna take any more trades, which probably means that it's ready to go, because obviously there's a whale sitting out there watching everything that I say and is making it do exactly the opposite just to piss me off. I'm convinced now. I'm just joking, but sometimes it sure feels like that, doesn't it? When you look at the volume profile, it was really clear that, you know, if the news was bad, that we could get a push-up. It's just this, you know, this stuff up here. There was just too much. So what you get is a double distribution instead. We could have done this. We could have bought 12. We could have sold 16. That's what we should have done. Well, but we were focused too much on 14. And we were focused too much on, is it going to go higher? And it didn't. When you should have taken that. So mistakes were made. Opportunity was there, entries were okay, but mistakes were made. Was that, what was it, Monday? Is this Monday? No, 7-2. I know. Yesterday was okay. And today kind of sucked. And then there was this day was really where it killed me. So. Yep, I'm just yapping. I don't really want to go. I want to keep trading, but I feel like this is just, you know, it's back to 13. So maybe there's still a buy there. Okay. Yeah, I was just saying in the chat, was just typing that in June it was like super thick and it didn't move very much, and you were playing the range. And in this month, especially today, I'm just seeing pulling. It's pulling. It's like we get a move and there's like 3,000 there and it's been there forever, and then when they actually trade through it, there's only like 400 there, and you're like, what the heck? And it's hard to trust anything, because you could take a trade and it would totally be a good signal, and then they just drop it, and there's like no way that you can see it. Sometimes it feels like alligator's gonna go on vacation soon. Enjoy that. Yeah, summer doldrums, so it's a different market, and there's different strategies that we're going to need to use for that. But I think the key thing is that we got to be careful about where we take our trade, because we don't want to have the floor pulled out from underneath of us. But I do like this buying it at the 13, so it's nice because we could get to watch some of the same things that we needed to watch in the very range bound market, but the order flow is a little bit better of a read for me, so the delta matters a bit more. Like you could see this delta buying all the way through here was what actually was helpful, and this delta selling here, so it should be fun. I think even though it's summer, I think we'll still have some good practice here. Anyways, I will catch you guys next